Okay, so thank you so much again for joining us and sharing your valuable wisdom with us, especially all the working professionals will be really excited to hear about. This is a subject which not very commonly heard, or it's not very commonly talked about it, but it's very important. I would say it's very needs even now today's societies, because you are coming with such a background from where we have experience in different field, but especially career reviving. Now, if you can tell about basic of your journey yourself, uh, so that they can understand that from where you are coming and what's made you to take this subjects to teach and share with people.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Manas, for this podcast and for this conversation, at least because I believe that this is the most to be discussed topic. And of course, let's start with my journey and why I am doing what I'm doing. Uh, you know, um, I was just like other people in the market, like who go to office 9 to 5, and I did my company secretary. I did my law,
Yeah.
and I roughly worked around 10 years in the corporate world. And then COVID hit, and I lost somebody whom I love. And during that time, I understood that there was uh, there is something like anxiety,
Mm.
deep depression, only scrolling the Instagram reels and sitting alone in the room, sometimes waking up late
Yeah.
and doing nothing, in fact, but just sitting and I mean, I don't remember if I did something during that time. I just remember me sleeping all the time, and that was a moment of very low in my life. I experienced that,
Major.
and during that time, after that, then I was just blaming myself. There is some problem with me when I wanted to search the job and come into the routine and come to the corporate world again. And that was a time I realized that nobody's taking me. Is there a problem with me? People used to say a lot of things to me that, Neha, you are of no value. You need to upskill, and there were a lot of noises around me. Some people used to say, you do a new business, do recruitment, do this, do that, and everybody was teaching me do this, do that, and so many noises around me, and I got confused.
Yeah.
So again, in the world of Instagram, social media, I was scrolling one day, and I just came across my coach, who is my new coach. When I was confused, I found him, and I still feel grateful about that I found him. And that was the moment I was lifted from this to now this, and got a lot of inner self wiring, rewiring, and also, got a lot of inner work done.
Mm.
And after that, I got a lot of confidence and clarity on what to do in the for the rest of my life, and what is the purpose of my life, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that was the time I realized that I went through this career gap, and it was not due to me. It was there were a lot of reasons for that, and I wanted to find those reasons, those gaps, and wanted to fill it up
Mm.
with a new system so that if somebody come across the same pain, same challenges, they don't go through the same kind of experience I did.
Mm.
So that was my pain point and why I built this system, which is a step by step system where I made my mission very clear, my vision statement very clear, what I want to do. So I want to empower 1 lakh people who are stuck in their career
Mm.
and who are probably the career gappers, or those who have been laid off maybe, but they have a career gap, and I want to really help them on career clarity because they feel empty, on confidence because they feel low,
mm,
and on building their career brand, because that is the most needed thing which I didn't know it had. It is right. Okay. So I rebuilt all this step by step. And after that, now I am on this mission and I'm helping people do that in a very systematic way. So this is where what inspired me to do that,
wow.
to become a career coach.
Basically, your you had some problem, you had some pain points. So you turned your problem, your pain to power, into say you're from mess, the mess of your lives, wherever you are, and then you created from there. How can we create that mesh to a message for the people so that's they can really connect? It is not their pain, their problem. It is my problem what I had, and I could see literally that others are also what undergoing, and it's really relatable, and being a coach myself, and I could see that's exactly it's relate so much because when you really undergone some pain, and many a times you see I am the only person in the world who is facing. But when we really reflect back, we see, but when we come with the mindset to help others, to support others, to serve others, then we see there are many people that actually needs the support and the service. And
Hmm.
and the best way to do that, to share, inspire, and it's not only our own life stories, but also if we can create a system out of it so that others can get it. That is really, really so amazing. So thankful. And I am 100% confident that those who are watching this podcast, definitely it will be helpful. And if you know someone that who is undergoing this career gap, or someone is really needed, please do forward this podcast to someone else who will be really needed, because this is very, very important. But when we see around, especially if I see around our society, especially I would say women who are having the career gaps, they are oftenly misunderstood or overlooked. And why it's so, if it is so? And also, I would like to know that how does society, even in corporate culture, they see in terms of their the career gaps? What what does it need to be changed, if anything needs to be changed, even in societies, even in corporate? What is your view on that? Because you see these things in and out, you train others, you see others. So how do you see perceives these problems or these things?
So I come across a lot of women, Manas,
Yeah,
but I will tell you the truth here.
yeah.
Actually, after a career gap, women come into a comfort zone.
After career gap.
They, after a career gap,
Okay.
first they feel frustrated,
Mhm.
okay? Then they come into a
Okay.
comfort zone of waking up late, of being them, and they don't love themselves.
Hmm.
They assume that outer world is wrong. I
Outer
mean,
world is
the
wrong.
outer world is wrong.
Okay.
There is some problem with the recruiters. They see the gap as the you know not a good thing. So
Hmm.
they are not hiring people with career gaps. So inner में उन्होंने they have said this, that we are not employable,
Ah,
and they assume it that they are not employable.
oh.
Okay. So uh so they become no more ambitious, they become no more available post their gaps,
Hmm.
and they keep on blaming the outer world, and they keep on engaging themselves
Hmm.
at home,
Hmm.
taking care of the kids and husband and everybody else around them.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
but they don't know that
Hmm.
there is a strategy to come back.
Okay.
It's not about their
I
gap.
was
It's
about to ask.
about,
I was about to ask these questions. In fact, I would say that what are the challenges they face, and because you are bringing it. So, if I just add another questions in between, and that, like, what are the common emotional or the psychological changes, the challenges these women face, especially when they have the career gap? This is one thing. Second thing, you are mentioning about self doubt. They
yeah.
self doubt themselves, and because they come to the comfort zone. So they doubt themselves that I am not employable, as you rightly mentioned, and I am very much comfortable after being I am there. So how you help them to rebuild actually their self worth? Rather, they have their self worth, and but
Hmm.
how you reinstall that? How you help them in both ways?
So I will tell you,
Yeah.
it's like I mentioned, it's much about when they know their what, the how will appear automatically.
Hmm.
Now the problem here is they don't know जाना कहाँ है,
Ah.
कौन सा role apply करना है, and they don't have their vision in their mind.
Hmm.
करना क्या है. So this is the challenge. And that is why I first of all rewire that thing. I bring on the career clarity. Career clarity in terms of jana kahan hai.
Okay.
So once you have fixed, you have identified
Hmm.
your what,
Hmm.
then it's very easy to find it out the
How?
other areas, the steps
Yeah.
to go there.
Yeah.
So first I work on their what.
Hmm.
And also, I work on their why because
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
very important to understand
Yeah.
why was the gap.
Yeah.
And if there was a gap due to kids, why? Why? So I go very deep why. So I ask five whys to
Hmm.
get into the deep root cause of why she took a break
Hmm.
so that she understands the problem is not the outer thing, the kids. The problem is a deeper why me.
Hmm. Very true. Very true. Hmm. So
Yeah.
once they understand why, this is it is very much clear, and it's happened every aspects of our life. If I resonate with this, because I have also seen many people when we talk to about they are in all four areas of life, health, then their relationships, career, and money. I see that why, because people doesn't have the clarity what they want to do and why they don't want to do it. So once they understand that, it becomes easier to find out the path, or rather even they can do it. So this is very important. Now, if I talk about, can you tell me something about what are the basically the common or the most psychological as well as emotional challenges these kind of people faces when especially they go for an career breaks?
So, if I talk about women and particularly their psychological challenges, I feel that they doubt themselves a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
And another thing is they have a lot of fears in their mind.
Yeah.
दुनिया क्या कहेगी, सोसाइटी क्या कहेगी,
Uh,
हस्बैंड क्या कहेगा,
yeah.
लोग क्या कहेंगे,
Yes.
मैं बच्चे छोड़ के जॉब करने चली गई. And all that stuff and that fears is leaving behind in their mind,
Mm.
and that is making them not re-enter the market, and that is making them और दे फियर कि रिजेक्ट ना हो जाए.
Uh,
रिजेक्ट हो गई तो लोग क्या कहेंगे, देखा वापस आई जॉब में, कोई ले ही नहीं रहा,
mm.
रिजेक्शन आ रहे थे. सो
Mm.
दे स्टार्ट डाउटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स इन
Mm.
देमसेल्फ, सोसाइटी, जॉब मार्केट, अरे जॉब मार्केट ही खराब. एंड द हायरिंग मैनेजर्स आर नॉट हायरिंग द करियर गैपर्स. ये भी दिमाग में बहुत बड़ा प्ले
But they
करता है.
make their own stories by themselves and they make a big layer of themselves, a story list, and then they think that I am not able to see because they made a bigger screen in front of them, which is can't see beyond that. It is not the actual reality, but they made it reality is hard for themselves, right? This is
और
the
जो थॉट्स बनते हैं वो रियलिटी बन जाते हैं. द
yes.
मोमेंट दे स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि रिजेक्शन आ रहा है तो रिजेक्शन आ जाता है.
Yeah, so that is if we attract in that way. If we say that when we are thinking always about negative, so subconsciously we feel that, and that's what we see around. Everything is around that. तो बोलता है ना wherever focus goes energy flows. हमारा फोकस ही उधर है, नेगेटिव तो हमारा पूरा डायरेक्शन एनर्जी उधर ही जाता है. That is very true. Exactly.
एंड दे स्टार्ट मैग्नीफाइंग देयर प्रॉब्लम्स.
Yes.
So I will tell you a story here.
Yeah, please.
May I please?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. So I read this book, The Art of Focus by Gauranga Das. And there is a story in this book. That story talks about कि एक बार, there was a teacher and he showed the class, the whole students, a white sheet of paper, and he marked one black dot inside it. Now, the teacher shows the sheet and asks the students one by one, क्या दिख रहा है? What are you able to see
yeah.
here? So this is a sheet having one black dot. So some is saying black intensified dot, some is saying the dot is not so intensified, the dot is small, the dot is large. Everybody is talking about that dot, and nobody is talking about the white color sheet. So that what's happened is in our life, we see only the problems and the challenges. We don't see the white sheet of paper.
Uh,
And the more we magnify the black dot in our life,
mm,
the more bigger it looks.
yeah,
So, for women, I would say just see the white sheet of paper. There are a lot of opportunities out in the market.
yeah.
AI, data science, and there are a lot
In
many
numbers. In numbers.
content marketing. And if you go research and do your work, thoda sa out of comfort zone jaoge na, the success lies there. So only the need is to go out there and explore and understand कि if you are going to go out of your comfort zone, बहुत कुछ है.
Yes. In fact, in our advanced the wealth frequency formula or even the advanced wealth mastery programs, we teach to the students and show them some multiple source of income. And I especially tell them that at least you can have 10 sources of income. And if I tell someone is working is fine, even someone is a housewife, I can tell at least you can learn at least 3 or 4 skills, which you can learn in few months, and you can earn just being at home after doing cooking and everything, all the household chores and everything, you can start earning at least 15, 20, 30,000 rupees per month.
हम्म.
Great. But
बिल्कुल.
but
Absolutely.
people thinks, कौन खरीदेगा, कौन लेगा, कौन करेगा, इसके लिए तो मेहनत करना पड़ेगा.
Absolutely.
Now, Shaman, then I realized that people loves being in the pen. As you mentioned, Ailey, they're in so much comfort zone. They love their pen. Then the actual part is lying outside. So they are very much happy with that suffering,
Actually,
which
if
is
I add, they
uh,
love to be staying in the known pains.
yes.
So, unknown areas, unknown territories को explore नहीं करने का है,
Mm.
known pains को झेल लेने का है.
Yes, that is a little bit of harsh reality, and that the moment we step into that zone of outside, then there is a lot of scope and a lot of opportunities, and uh,
Yeah.
things are actually awaiting for us. Yeah. So actually, what roles, especially things like motherhood, people feels like sometimes guilt or social pressure by delaying this again come back. Is it something to deal with it? And have you ever faced this kind of challenges when they take career gap?
So, what happens is, women after taking a gap, maybe because of motherhood,
Yeah.
or maybe because of husband relocation, or maybe any other reason,
Mm,
and they engage themselves in daily activities. Husband का डब्बा बनाना है, kids को school भेजना है, and they consistently follow that.
mm,
And they put everybody first.
mm,
Husband को भी पहले दिया, kids को भेजा, maid से काम कराया, घर के course किए, सारे सब set किया, and then she just takes care of everybody at home,
mm,
but not themselves. तो वो
mm,
self love तो
mm,
missing है.
mm,
And when there is some family get together or कुछ ऐसा होता है
happening.
where they are together, they take care of everybody, and then when they hear a small thing about themselves, कि यार अरे इसने तो so what do you do, what is your wife doing, and that moment अगर कोई पूछे तो then they feel like यार कुछ तो missing है, and then they realize कि यार I just forgot myself.
Yeah, that is again, people are not, people are too much worrying about others. Actually, it's not. Actually, we need to really think about themselves first, that how we can take care of ourselves. बोलता है ना जो
Absolutely. तो वो मिसिंग है, क्योंकि वो क्या करते हैं कि दे फील लाइक कि सोसाइटी को सर्व करना है, दे बिकम पीपल प्लीजर, you
हाँ,
know,
that is
pleasing everybody in the society. Husband की फैमिली, अपनी फैमिली, everyday gossip and everything. Now what happens is that they don't know कि जिसको प्लीज कर रहे हैं, they are not going to help.
hmm,
They're not going to help in any area of their life.
yeah,
And the moment they come into any problem, nobody is going to come and, do anything in your life
hmm,
or help in any manner.
uh,
Jisko bhi, even I have pleased in my life. Whatever I'm saying it to you, I have myself experienced that, Manas.
yeah,
So I can totally relate to this. You
hmm,
know, society never helps.
yes,
And whomsoever you talk on the call and you think that people are advising you or you are advising them, honestly, you have to choose your circle very wisely.
yes, very, very important.
Because अगर आप अपना सर्कल ठीक चूज नहीं कर रहे हो ना, you are actually
Yes,
wasting your time on things which you
unnecessary,
should not be prioritizing in your life
unnecessary things, I would say.
unnecessarily. And that pressure, as you asked, these all things, the external society,
Really,
and even we are taking care of everybody at our home, but not ourselves,
hmm,
is the thing which women actually is delaying just because of all of them.
uh,
और भगवत गीता में भी लिखा है, सबसे पहले अपना देखो.
yes. But recently, it is very much resonating, and I truly related. These things also happened few years back with me, and I was trying to reflect back myself. So, it's not only happened with the women, and very much true, it's happened with the women, and men also thinks that I am there solely for the earns, for the families, and taking care of everyone, when everything is remaining, that is for mine. And then when
Mm,
doing some things, and then we see that so much lacks I have myself. If that is not there, then how I can serve others? It's very simple. Now, uh, this is very much resonating. Now, recently we had very devastating news in our country is
yes,
crashing
yes,
plane, and
yeah,
every time whenever we travel by planes, and the crew members always announce first, दूसरे को सुरक्षा करने के लिए, करने का पहले खुद का सुरक्षा पहले कीजिए, अपना मास्क पहले लगाइए. So the first is protect yourselves, then even your child, and specifically it is mentioned that time. I remember that even before you put marks on your child, first you put on yourself. So this is very, very important and
absolutely,
very crucial.
absolutely.
We
First, take care of yourself.
it does happen for everyone, because psychologically it comes because in our societies around, and that's how the again nervous systems are trained by that. But when we literally we feel, as you mentioned, the right kind of circle when we are around, then this becomes very, very habitual. It's very, very true. Now, if we talk about especially those who are already into this career gap and they wanted to come back. Now, what would be like? We wanted to see like blueprint how that can come. So, if you can tell me the three steps any woman should take if she is ready to restart that from the career gap, what would be their three steps would be?
So there are so many steps, but if you talk
You tell
about the
three, three key steps.
first three steps, they need to come out of their comfort zone and find out to be applying and why they need to apply this specific route. Are you there,
Yeah,
Manas?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And once that is clear, we need to position them.
Mm.
So nowadays, it's very important to see how is your visibility, how's your brand.
Okay.
So it's not only about a resume, it's not only even about LinkedIn. It's much more than that.
Mm.
The positioning, the
Mm.
right kind of positioning, how to make sure that the recruiter or the hiring manager is seeing you as an expert of XYZ, whatever your niche is. So if the employer or if the business is looking you as that way as a resource, then they are going to call you for interview.
Mm.
Yes, so you have to position yourself as that brand.
Mm.
Yeah. So then the most important thing is building the brand. And then after that, it's very important to work on networking skills. So,
Okay.
like usually, whomsoever I come across and I understand on the one-to-one calls, or even when I talk to my students also, they say that Neha ma'am, nobody's replying to our messages
Ah, this is
on
common
LinkedIn,
on this one.
or even the recruiters and the hiring managers are ghosting us. Sometimes they don't even call, mostly, but if they call, they ghost. They don't even reply. कि भाई, what is the feedback?
Yeah.
Rejection है, acceptance
Yeah.
है, क्या है?
Yeah.
And they feel that problem कहाँ है? So
Mm.
I say that अगर same तरीके से काम नहीं बन रहा है ना, तो
Mm.
just change the method.
Yeah.
So maybe you are not doing the right kind of networking.
Mm.
Maybe you are messaging them, messaging a stranger कि मेरी जॉब लगवा दो, मुझे रेफर कर दो, ये मेरा रिज्यूमे है. एंड उनके शू में आके देखो, डू यू थिंक दैट कि कोई भी ऐसे किसी स्ट्रेंजर को हेल्प करेगा?
Mm.
So there is, even in networking, there are certain kind of methods you need to follow.
Mm.
So I work on that too with my students. So these are the steps you need to work on. And there are more steps too, on job search strategies, on how to make that strategy work for you, and networking and all that stuff. And also, most importantly, above like zero step is that work on your inner self.
Yeah, that is the
So,
first and very, very important crucial steps to be what
yeah.
the real challenges lies there.
Yes. So as Jack Canfield sir says that 20 minutes exercise, 20 minutes meditation, and 20 minutes reading. So have that routine, start doing that. You will fall into the right kind of place.
Okay, that is great. But how important in terms of if you talk about upskilling now, it is very, very seeing that. And what are the ways, some practical ways, if you can tell me some practical ways that, when you talk about upskills, many times people have the question, यार कितना खर्चा करना पड़ेगा, like how much I have to
Mhm.
spend really, or if you can tell me like what are the ways to upskill and without spending much, and how important it is especially to keep up to date and being in upskill in each and day-to-day life, because the nowadays worlds are moving so fast and the things are changing, and the even in tech sites now AI has changed it, like disrupted many things so which was not there just a year back. So how you see, I'm not talking about only technical side, even non-technical side also, that how the upskilling is very, very important. At the same time, without not spending very much, how one can do it and what are the steps, if you can share something.
It's very important, first of all. It's the number one thing which you should be doing.
Mm.
But then you have to do it in a focused way.
Mm.
It's not about doing any kind of course or any trending course so
Mhm.
far.
Mm.
Like what I advise to my student is don't go
Yeah.
by trend, go by your passion, what you are passionate about.
Yeah, give me some
So,
like example, some real life transformation stories if you have also related to this also, that how it helped them.
yeah, of course. So, number one is upskilling is very important. Then, I would tell you stories also.
Yeah.
One of my students, she was skeptical on doing any kind of learning. So this also happens, Manas,
Mm.
that people, once they have a career gap, they first of all don't have clarity on which course to do.
Mm.
And then if I ask them to do the career clarity test
Mm.
and come up with the focused courses, like this is the course you should be doing,
Yeah.
right? Then they think that investment is a big problem. You
Invest.
know, investment is a big problem. Why? They are already in a career gap and they
Mm.
don't want to invest.
Mm.
And Manas, it's not about uh, spending less.
Mm.
Trust me, it's important to do the right kind of thing for your upskilling.
Mm.
It's not about spending less or more.
Mm.
It's about the right thing.
Doing right.
And my student, she
Mm.
did not upskill. While I asked her to do the upskilling, she was into sales and
Mm.
she had a career gap of 6 months. So I asked her to do LinkedIn learning पे बहुत सारे courses हैं. AI, chat GPT, prompt learning, and so many stuff, even marketing, sales के लिए भी. Not exactly the technical skills, but you can enhance your soft skills and also your AI skills for that sense at LinkedIn learning. So once you invest in the LinkedIn premium account, then you can do this LinkedIn learning.
Okay.
So it is very powerful where you can experience, but I can't tell you specific courses because every person have a different role. So
What I
they,
mean?
for them, there is a different kind of roles
Yeah.
which they have to work on themselves and they have to find out which is the best for them.
Mm.
But as far as soft skills or certain AI related courses, LinkedIn Learning or even Coursera is good. And as far as another tip I want to add here is if you have already done some role earlier before your career gap, and if you think that that is something you can do for the rest of your life, then I would say something related to that, do that.
Okay.
And another thing I want to add, data science, machine learning are something if you have interest, if you really want to explore these fields, then these fields have certain courses at Databricks and that is absolutely free. So, like I said, I don't know particularly which role you are asking for, but then for certain roles, I do know that upskilling nowadays it's not too expensive also.
Okay. So, especially if
Sorry.
someone is non-technical, yes, fine. If someone is non-technical guy,
Mhm.
then how they should approach, or if it is like as you mentioning about data science or even in AI, is that for a non-tech guy also it is a very important, or even for the women those who are in from non-tech background also? How do you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Non-tech person can learn content creation or digital marketing. Every startup needs to create their presence, their brand, and you can imagine the plethora of opportunities out there
Yeah.
for those startups.
Yeah.
So a person can easily earn 50,000, 1 lakh very, very easily
Yeah.
do by doing investing in their skills, learning few skills like Canva and other video editing tools, and they can simply do that. And even when Manas, you are also a coach,
Yeah.
for even coaching industry is going so big.
Yeah.
So everybody needs somebody who can edit their videos, and digital marketing is a thing now. Every person needs. So
Yeah.
I think that is another field
I'm building a team for that.
uh,
Actually.
which you can upskill and that too very easily, not investing too much, but then you can earn a lot in that.
Yeah, this is
If
very.
you are passionate and your creative mind is much active, then you can explore that.
Yeah. Another thing which I wanted to know about it, like when you talk about the career gap and when they have to come back in terms of the strategies and to come back there, how much roles especially plays in terms of rebuilding the resume or tweaking the resumes based on the jobs they are applying, and what are the different like interview strategies works the best in different sector. If you can share some of the examples of your stories
Okay.
of your students so that they can break that shackle.
Okay. So, Manas, good question actually. Resume, I share a strategy. I give a very powerful tip to my students. I will tell you here also
Mhm.
that please include your comeback statement.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Like in professional summary, people write their mission or vision statement somehow that what they are aspiring to do for the future
Mm.
or what they want to really do. Similarly, in for them, I first of all we together make comeback statement and understand आप 5 साल बाद कहाँ पहुंचना चाहते हो,
Mm.
and then we bring that flavor in the professional summary and also in the resume so
Mm.
that if the recruiter or hiring manager is reading that resume, he gets a clarity on number one, what this person brings to the table, and
Mm.
number two, what is his or her goal.
Mm.
So these things we work on resume storytelling part especially. And as far as you asked for the interviews,
Mm.
the most important tip I share is that generally people start their backstory first,
Mm.
and then they talk about their present and they don't talk about their future at all. Yes,
Mm.
that's what people do, right? And I draft it very differently. I say that start the statement with your vision mission.
Yeah.
So bring that your comeback statement as your first statement
Mm.
in the interview,
No.
and then talk about your past and then your future and just connect the dots.
Mm.
So, you have to look forward
Mm.
and then you have to look backward and just connect the dot.
Okay, great.
And when you talk about when the gap, you only talk about the positive things why you took the gap and what you really did during that time.
Mm.
So what people do is they show their weaker side in the interview,
Mm.
that I took the gap, and they show that my family was like that and all that stuff, but only focus on that I took the break and I built this. Maybe I learned some new skills, if somebody upskill, or maybe you can talk about I took care of my kids or took care of my elderly parent or
Yeah.
something like that, and I
Yeah.
learned I
Mm.
learned resilience, I learned patience, I learned clarity on coming back. And obviously, women has done a lot of multitasking during the break. So you can mention that.
Exactly. I'm stopping you here, and while you are talking, I was just reflecting myself, and I realized I had the career gap. Actually, I never realized that I had a career gap. I remember it was twice it happened. You told a few of the things, and I was wondering what are the things I have done. When
Hmm.
you're sharing your wisdoms, and I was just reflecting back, what are the things I applied
Hmm.
consciously and unconsciously? Because I never thought I am having a career gap, and I am because I was living in a so positive say,
Hmm.
vibe of myself. I never. Two times it's happened. It was in 2015 when I had a fast job in 2013, and then worked for two and a half years, and I had severely bad health. I was working so day in and out, and being a young professional just came out of the college and working. Everyone thinks about themselves is about building the career, doesn't think about health, doesn't think about anything else, just working hard, hustling, working hard. And I remember the doctor, I came in for a diagnosis, and then he told that if you are going like this, you will go see in 6 months times you will get a bone cancer. It was a very alarming for me. What I did, I came back, I wrote an email to my HR. I'm having some
Hmm.
problem. I'm
Hmm.
resigning. I did not have any job and anything. I took my even my parents didn't know that I had such a severe health problem.
Hmm.
Very nice rest. And that time I
mm,
was in Mumbai, and I took very nice rest. I healed myself, and a lot of self-reflection happened. Uh,
mm,
and then I started preparing for an interview, and because that time I was not giving any interview because I had the job, so I don't need to go
mm,
for another job. Then
mm,
I remember the one job I have given for interview.
mm,
It was really hit me hard in terms of technicalities and every aspects. Literally, I felt I have been gang raped. Literally, I feel
mm,
like that myself. Such many what question they did not ask. Each and
mm.
everywhere. And then I took that day, the resolution myself. And this would be the last interview where I will face the rejection. I came back. It was really feel, bad. And I wanted to hide it. And it was like a Zoom call that time. Sorry, that time it was a Skype call. And it had
Mm,
Skype call like this. And internet was a little bit fluctuating. I wanted to hide that. I can't hold such.
mm,
I feel literally humiliation myself. Then
mm.
I told
Yeah.
internet is not working properly. You know
Mm,
what happened? He told, okay, we'll reschedule again. Oh my God. I just don't want to face it at all, that person.
mm.
Same
It
story.
happens. It happens.
Same story.
And yeah, it happens. Many a times it happens, and you can't do anything that time. You just feel like stuck.
And I came back. I
Mm,
reflected back. I prepared harder. I asked my seniors. I took help. And what are the things I need to prepare? What are the things? And it was such a wonderful, I would say, the journey. Once I prepared.
mm.
After that, I have given at least 10 interviews. Not a single one I rejected because of technical sides.
Wow,
So,
amazing.
so I was just reflecting, sometimes the rejection is not actually the rejection. Rejection actually is redirection. So,
Yes.
so this is very, very important lessons I learned myself, because why I am just sharing so elaborately, because when you just sharing, I could reflect myself that I had actually career gap. And it also happened few years back when I got the second son of mine. So it was good happening, and then I went for paternity leave for 15 days, then came
Mm,
back, and they called me, and then directly like one to like few calls like this, and they fired me. That all
mm,
your position is frozen. Now in
mm.
this fancy words I know very well, but there's well. And what do you mean about the frozen? Positions are there, things are there. I mean, it is not about my capabilities
Mm.
it is not about my technical skills, because they did not have the project. I went,
Yeah.
escape. That's fine. That's fine. If it is, because that's not the end of the road.
Mm,
And almost took 3 months, and I had to reject many of the offers because I wanted to have get a right kind of jobs. Again, the same strategies what you mentioned, because self-healing was so important, because I
yeah.
had strong belief I was getting endless opportunities, honestly speaking. Then I realized one more thing, sir, what you mentioned, and this would be definitely helping for the audience as well. This is very, very important. I to reflect that it was actually believing on the self-worth, that what the self-worth I have, because I am coming not as a doing a social work there. I am doing
Mm,
the really to the companies. And in one company I had interviewed, and I had frequently job changed, and in
mm.
12 years of careers, I would say in corporates, I shifted 7, 8 companies. So one of the HRs recruiters, they did
Asked you.
they did not trust me. And
Yeah.
actually, 2 plus 6 happened. I told, why you are changing so fast. And
Mm,
I know the company very well, and they did not have the job security either. So I asked him, can you give me 5 years of job security right now? And he was,
mm,
when I
mm,
asking another question, another company, they asked me the same thing. And then I told, listen, the good part is I have worked all of your competitors' companies. That means I am bringing the tons of experience in your table. It's good for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it is, as you mentioned, the backstory. It's helped me actually. So
Yeah.
this helped, and this is very very important, very crucial. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm sorry I just elaborated a bit because I truly resonate what exactly you meant to say. That is
Yeah.
important. Now, if I talk about if I am a candidate, no, now what? Now, if you are a recruiter, for example, if you are a recruiter, if I am a candidate and I am having a career gap, then you as a recruiter, what are the things you really look from my side so that I can come back much more stronger, or other things you really looking for from my side?
So I would say that recruiter wants to hear the real story.
Okay,
Okay. And you fear to tell them.
definitely. If
Yes.
something's not matching, if I'm getting screwed, very simple.
And then there is a clash.
Mm,
So when you be honest on what you are,
yeah.
don't fake it that I did not, or don't fake the story, any kind of story. They can totally sense it कि क्या story है.
Yeah.
And once you start faking it, recruiters are not going to believe any kind of version, and you are not going to get believed.
Mm,
So first, bring the right version to yourself on your comeback.
mm,
And then tell the right story.
mm,
Even if the gap is there, you took a pause
mm,
to another to find out really what the cause it was for.
mm,
Now it's time to realize that now you are coming back stronger.
mm,
So tell the right kind of narrative to the recruiter and
mm,
don't fake it, and be consistently telling the same story
mm,
to the recruiters. And even for that matter, Manas, what I say is that when you tell your story to the recruiter,
mm,
you tell the same story which is written on your resume,
mm.
because it there has to be alignment in whatever you are saying.
Yes.
Walk the talk,
Yeah.
walk the talk.
Yeah.
So be consistent and be value driven,
Mm.
not that just faking it.
That's good.
All this is only needed. This is only what recruiter is asking you for. So
Yeah.
I read an article
Mm,
on LinkedIn. It
mm,
was talking about the real scenarios there, and it totally resonated with me.
mm,
That even if you did not do any kind of course, it's okay.
mm,
You can tell them the
mm.
right thing.
Yeah.
But I was hearing yesterday only, I was hearing one of a story of my student, and she was skeptical about telling the right truth of her career gap. And the gap was due to her toxic boss.
Mm.
And that usually happens, right, Manas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we come across a lot of people around us, and sometimes we don't gel up with our bosses, or we don't find the workplace very
Happened with me.
positive. Yeah, and it becomes so toxic that you feels like अब मुझसे नहीं होगा.
Mm.
Now I'm done.
Yeah.
So and they that and that then that person resigns,
Yeah.
you know. And it's all about then you resign. Now it's time to come back. Now you've decided कि अब मुझे दोबारा job करनी है. But then you decide, यार, now should I tell the real story or tell the fake one?
Yeah.
Even about the gap and why you left the organization. So it's very important. Again, यहाँ पर अगर आप you are going to say this that you left because of your toxic boss, that is not going to work.
Mm.
That is not going to work. Work on yourself. I
Mm.
mean, there is a work-life balance kind of thing.
Yeah.
There is a thing how you can manage your anger.
Mm.
There is thing how you can manage your emotion intelligence.
Yeah.
So all that stuff you can manage.
Mm.
Don't think about only the toxic bosses, because even in this word,
Mm.
toxic boss is one thing. But even in the word, you will feel like you will meet a lot of people.
Mm.
How are you going to replace them? First, change your inner self. Work on your inner.
Mm.
Have patience.
Mm.
Have patience in
Yes.
saying or control, have deep breathing exercises
Hmm.
in at workplace. Even when something happens, take a pause and understand. एक दिन रुक जाता हूँ, अगर मुझे सेम फीलिंग कल आएगी तो आई विल रिजाइन.
Hmm.
So these are the tips. I have put it on my channel also, YouTube,
Hmm.
about the detailed video on how to manage your anger
Hmm.
at workplace.
Uh,
Because it happens. It happens. We are human, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
we all
you
have.
can start writing. So pen and paper help me. I mean, it helped my coach also. So
Hmm.
just start writing whatever you feel like. It's okay. You can write, right?
Hmm.
इवन फॉर दैट मैटर, अगर तुम्हें मन कर रहा है कि तुम्हें रिजाइन करना है, जस्ट योर राइट योर रेजिग्नेशन लेटर ऑल्सो, बट डोंट सेंड.
Hmm.
टेक अ पॉज एंड अंडरस्टैंड. देखो एक दिन बाद भी सेम फीलिंग आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही है.
Hmm.
सो अगर वो सेम फीलिंग आ रही है तो मतलब कुछ बहुत डीपर गड़बड़ है.
Hmm.
Otherwise, there are methods. So these are the kind of things I believe that even in telling your story to the recruiter, it's very important, and telling the right story is very important.
This is very, very important, very, very true, and I totally resonate because as I mentioned just time back that I had the same career gap, and I told the honest truth. This is what
Mm,
now somewhere HR wanted to screwed me. I told again, so do you want me to fake it or should I tell you the honest and real things? You can,
mm,
I told you, you can screw me, absolutely fine. Now it is your choice. You wanted to get a highly valuable assets or high paid liabilities is your choice.
mm.
And he accepted me. It's as simple as that. Because I
Yeah,
know what is my value I am bringing on your table. It's very simple.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what has happened in the past. You're thinking only
Mm,
about the past, or you are really working on the present to make the future. It's very simple.
mm,
So it is all about making the real story. It's very, very important. That is very, very true. So thank you for
mm.
it actually, and actually spot on. And another thing I want to understand, like as you mentioned, this is related to, I know, I would say confidence and someone's have the
Yeah.
mindset and identity. Because while I am coaching in many students of mine and coaching, and especially those who comes, they face challenges in terms of their health, their wealth, even they have challenges with their relationships, and
Mm,
that's also reflects in their career and money. And
yeah.
because when people are not feeling actually their worth, they are feeling is not worthy. So definitely others means recruiters, companies also they don't feel he or she is not worthy to have in our organization. These same things happen like so ये बोलता है ना जो your vibes attracts your tribes basically जैसा आप हैं
Yeah.
आपको दूसरा देखते हैं तो when you see that this company is not good, the company becomes actually worse. So, like if someone has feelings like I'm not good enough, this kind of syndromes. So, how you really help, especially to women, to come back with that the stronger, yeah. So, how?
Start writing your fears, as I said.
Yeah.
लिखो, लिखो. Start writing your fears,
Mhm.
and also improve your morning routine. So what happens is, अगर आप छोटी छोटी विन लिखना शुरू करोगे अपनी,
Mm.
in life, in work, in any area of your life, you start rebuilding your confidence. और confidence ऐसे बैठे बैठे नहीं बनता है. It is built upon your actions. Take
बनाना
small
पड़ता है.
small actions every day and build करो उसे. So
बना.
like you can make tea, 1 cup of tea easily, but अगर मैं कोई बोले कि 50 बनानी है तो you won't be able to, right? If somebody says कि 4,000 लोगों के आगे बोलना है, you won't be able to. But then if you like start building that confidence muscle slowly, छोटा छोटा step लो and start writing your wins.
Yeah.
आपको अच्छा लगेगा, and then start writing your gratitudes. That will make you feel happy. And there are so many things you can do. Visualization, start in front of
Of-
mirror कि मैं, वाह नेहा तू तो कमाल है, एकदम बढ़िया है. So once you start believing in yourself, the world will start believing in you.
This is very, very powerful technique. Even when I was feeling sometimes low and sometimes I had self doubt, And I used to sit
Hmm.
in front of the mirror like this, and I used to go, this man is standing in front of me is really genius and can do it wonderful things. Thank you. And
Hmm.
when I was doing that every time, and initially I was feeling, kya bakwas hai? Why I'm
Hmm.
doing this thing? But when we do it again and again, 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 so subconsciously we build it ourselves, and that's become the reality. And it's very, very true. Yeah. True.
Funny. Hmm.
Also, we wanted to understand because you are into, as I mentioned, you are into your coachings and trainings, and you are guiding your community members, and also those who are actually career gaps. So, in terms of gap to growth, the journey, uh, how and what does roles play actually in terms of coachings, your community supports you are doing? What are the things you do, you teach? So that they also becomes they rebuild with their inner self so that they can come back much more stronger and how they.
Actually, once the person is in the community,
Mhm,
the coach guides you, take you from this level to that level, handholds you, tells you the journey.
mhm,
So, uh, and once a person is in career gap, he already is feeling very low in their life.
yeah, right.
Don't you think that they will start believing in themselves and also will see a lot of other members in the same kind of pain and they understand that अकेला नहीं हूँ यार बहुत सारे लोग हैं मेरे साथ who
Yes.
are going through the same kind of challenges in their life
Hmm.
and they start believing in themselves और वहां से कहानी शुरू होते होते and then it's more like they make a routine of doing the right things at right time and that's why
Yeah.
transformations happen that yes they can do it and that, yes they can create their story yes they can bring up themselves and upskill themselves and tell the right story in front of the businesses and of course achieve their final aim where they are aiming for their dream company. So the goal is not small, the goal is very big.
Yeah.
So the more they are going to dream big and the more is are the chances in a community setup model they can they can complete their goals or they can still chase their goals, their bigger goals, being in the community and chasing for the right thing and not just money.
Yeah. So if I specifically ask you related to this, in terms of in your community, what are the things you generally teach, like how a person, what
Mm.
the like person's journey looks like? If you can just tell briefly, so that if someone is watching this and if they have certain interest, and if someone has career gap or someone's their relatives or friends, colleagues, they can understand, they can some get some visualization what is actually the path through it, so that they can come.
So I teach career clarity, I teach job search strategies, I teach resume, LinkedIn optimization, LinkedIn content mastery,
Yeah.
and also networking skills.
Oh, okay.
So it's very important to
But
know
teaching
what to
multi-billion dollar
message.
skills.
Yeah, so I also teach how to answer the recruiter's call, how to answer even in the interviews. So the interview part is only 4% in the complete, but it takes part. And this is what I teach. I also teach the storytelling part on how to narrate your stories in
Oh.
interviews.
Mhm.
So this is what I teach in my course. And not only this, I show up once a week where I um, come up to make them understand their real values and what they should be working on and take questions if they have. So every week I show up and they get all the guidance over the week sessions, and it is a lifetime membership. So this is what my community is meant for
What
because
was-
it's more about serving the
yeah,
society.
that's great actually. So if anyone is watching this video, and if you or anyone of your family members, near and dear and far, please share with them at least this video, because this can be a game changer for their life. So, and just a one forwarding one video will can transfer their lives into the different perspective. So we never know. So
Yeah.
it's very, very important. Now, if we talk about, as you mentioned about building your personal brand, you are mentioning now, this sometimes becomes like in especially the social media days nowadays, uh, it becomes a little bit of buzzwords, building a personal brand, how does this really, maybe I understand truly it is for making a business, very, very important. But for doing a, just a job, and recruiter will find I have the capabilities, and I am, if I having a good experience or something, I'm into the Naukri.com, I putting monster.com, Naukri.com, Apna.com. There are so many options, and of course LinkedIn and other places. If I put my resumes and I put my history of careers and everything, and I could see the related posts of recruiter and all. What is big deal of or making it a personal brand is so important, or is it important? But because you're mentioning about personal brand, that's what my thoughts just no started in. But
Absolutely. Good
I think
question, in fact.
only for
So
yeah, yeah,
let me answer that.
yeah.
Uh, Manlo, Manas,
Hmm.
for one job opening, how
Hmm.
many candidates are applying in today's date? Can you make a number? Guess. Can you guess a number?
It depends. And in my sector where and I was in the construction design industries, I worked as an electrical engineer in different level. In my post, maybe around for one position, at least 20 30 posts, 20 30 interviews, maybe 20 interviews, not less than that. Out of that, maybe they're selecting one. But sometimes it's also happened. I am the only person interviewed and I got selected. And because I was the first person to be given interview, and they liked me, they selected. This also happened. But
But this might have happened a long time ago, right?
uh,
Now let me
last,
tell you.
last 5 to 10, I would say in 12 years it's happened.
Yes. So things are rapidly changing in this AI world,
Mhm.
and now to differentiate you from the other candidates, how you are going to stand out from the market.
Mhm.
While for one particular job application, there comes more than 200, 500 applicants.
Mhm.
Okay. So they apply for a role. Now, these applicants say that they have the same kind of qualification, they have the same kind of skills, they
Mhm.
have everything same. How
Mhm.
to differentiate them from those who are getting the interview calls?
Mhm. That is very important.
So, brand takes that edge.
Mhm.
So, when you build a brand, recruiters see you that your shop is open and you are really, really hard in your visibility. So there are a kind of candidates who know their skills, but they are not marketing themselves,
Mhm.
like building their brand.
Mhm.
There are certain people who don't know anything, but they market a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. How to balance that? That is the next
Yeah.
question. But how really recruiters finds them? No, what does it means actually the personal brand? Or is it like being in the society
Visibility.
and
So brand is visibility. Brand is something when you type your name on Google,
hmm,
what appears on Google is your brand.
okay, let me
So
start.
Jeff Bezos says that your brand is when somebody talks about you when you are not in the room. That is your brand.
Hmm,
So
makes
it's not
sense.
that all that gossip happening in the room when you just leave the room outside, आपके colleagues बैठे हैं and they talk about you, that is your brand. So एक ब्रांड है जो आपने बनाया खुद ने आर्टिकल्स लिख के या लिंक्डइन पे कन्वर्सेशंस करके और ये सब so that you bring your visibility. Another brand you have built by your aura, by your presence, by your body language, by what you know, what you bring to the table. So एक वो ब्रांड है. सो थिंक अबाउट दैट. थिंक अबाउट कि आपने ओवरऑल अपना क्या ब्रांड एस्टेब्लिश किया है मार्केट में. So as a job seeker, it's very important because even when I teach my students, it's very important to show your photograph in such a way that too very professional, and it is aligned at every place. Be it LinkedIn, be it Gmail, be it no, job portals. So bring that flavor of yours in your brand everywhere to be the same. That brings your brand. So that matters a lot. That matters a lot for. So why you think that you be paid better than others? Because you are a premium brand. So why you pay extra for a Nike shoes? Because you think that it is a premium brand.
Yeah. So it goes in subconsciously that it has a higher values than any other common, and chances that makes sense. Yeah, which is very very true. Okay, so this mindset is completely shifted myself now by just this is not applicable only for the business owners or the marketeers, but also it's applicable nowadays for even for the professionals who is working in the job and wanting to switch the job. Very
Yeah.
important. Yeah, this is very, very. Any powerful mindset shifts or anything like if you recommend for your students, like, but I always feel one of the thing I also tell to my students, it is like aligning yourselves, your goal versus your needs. And this is where many conflicts happen and also conflict resolution happen. And recently, I think yesterday I was having a one-on-one conversation with a 60 years old man who is struggling bit on he is earning more than 1.5 to 2 lakhs rupees per month, but having lot of debts and things. And while discussing, I realized it is about misaligned in the mindset, and the goal and needs are not matching. And I feel that the same things applicable. And I remember just a few months ago, I was talking to one of the CEO of a company in US, and his relationships had some issues with his spouse and with his daughter, and he wants to have this kind of programs. Then I was telling about the same solutions in different field. Now, how do you feel that this is this applicable, or this is a anyway in applicable in terms of career gap or career gap people, or that in terms of career, how this can realignment is needed in terms of mindset?
So, like you said, what kind of mindset tips I should be giving to my students? I give a lot of tips on visualization, on mirror activity, on goal setting, and also on making affirmations loud and clear, and or every day reminding yourself of your affirmations and writing your feelings on the piece of on your notepad.
Mm.
These are the, and meditation, of course, I mentioned earlier also. Meditation truly helps, and it makes you aligned with your true discovery.
Yeah.
So होता क्या है कि we in the phase of our life और भाग रहे होते हैं हम, we totally don't take a pause to understand our true self or discover ourselves.
Mm.
So meditation helps you that.
Mm.
So that's what I do. And you are right, completely right. People set their goals unrealistically and not aligned with what they truly need in their life, whether they need money or not. So it's a bigger question. I think we can cover it in our next podcast. But then this is something very deeper, that people are chasing money. 10 crore mil jaye, 15 crore mil jaye. Like yesterday, took a offline session and I was asking the students, what if a genie comes here and asks you, what do you want? So people were most of the people were answering 10 crore mil jaye, 15 crore mil jaye. And I was telling them, Do you really need it? What do you need it for? Okay, मान लो कि आज तुम्हें मिल गया. Now what? Now what you are going to do? Okay, we are going to, हमारी इतनी खर्चे नहीं है. We are going to spend it for the rest of our life. So I was getting so many answers for that, but then I was amazed that people are giving this answer that they need money. They need money. So I believe that if they go inside themselves, they might not need 10 से 15 crore as well, but they might need more than that. So the question here is how they analyze this number, 10 से 15 crore. And have they gone deeper into money ही चाहिए या कुछ और चाहिए?
Yes, true.
So yeah, so this is a bigger thing. Maybe we can cover later.
That's
And
where that's where I feel that many people is actually stuck in their lives, even in
for
financially,
money.
and that creates a lot of stress. And that's where I and with this point actually I made a complete financial freedom plan for them, and they realize and in our workshops in 2 days workshops it is complete 96 live workshops is happened in 2 days. Many people realize they are financially free, and
Hmm.
we make them realize how you can become financially free literally, and if you are
Hmm.
not, how you can become financially free within very short span of time. So this is very very important, as you mentioned. Yeah. So before we closing out, we are almost end of our the podcast is most valuable podcast is happening. So now, before we closing, if those women and the men, especially watching this, the listening till now, this podcast, which is coming almost end of that. So, what do you suggest? What do you say? Those who are listening, especially those who are still sitting with the self doubt, and what they want to really restart. What are the things they should do? And what are the most common result you have seen, especially after your coachings in terms of people transforms in terms of their emotionally and professionally, if you can share.
So, like for women, I think that see, women, if you are listening this podcast, you are not at all alone. There are so many women out there who are facing the same challenges. So, तुम अकेले नहीं हो.
Yeah.
Number one, number two is you have to come out of your comfort zone, and your comeback will be more stronger than earlier. So let's together make your comeback much stronger and much powerful. And as far as you said that the most common results, and I have seen many transformations in my community itself, that the girl was feeling so low confident and was feeling so lethargic, depressed at home after a career gap of 6 months. So I helped her, and not only emotionally but also professionally, so that she come out from that stuck zone to more confident and a leader, a powerful leader.
Yeah, that's very, 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 very powerful. So if someone wants to reach you, connect you, what are the audio way can definitely I will put the links over there. So
So they can come to my LinkedIn, and you can mention that in the description
definitely I will do it.
about my LinkedIn link. And on my LinkedIn, you can find the free clarity call. They
Yeah.
can book a free clarity call and let's talk. Let's talk and understand what you are going through and how I can make a help to you, or I can help you really empower you. Yeah.
And any final thoughts for the client, matlab our audience, if you wanted to share, if you recommend any books, any such sessions, podcasts, or anything you like to share something?
So the most powerful thing which I learned from my coach is that uh, 20 minutes exercise, 20 minutes meditation, and 20 minutes reading. Reading books. Right now, I'm reading The Art of Focus by Goranga, and must read book having a lot of 45 stories, in fact, and all the stories are connected to Bhagavad Gita. small verses. So that will help you. Another book in terms of personal development is The Secret.
Movie.
And The Secret. Okay. And another book is Atomic Habits, which I have read. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Then Mel Robbins ki hai 5 seconds rule.
Hmm.
I've read that. So apart from that, I daily read Bhagavad Gita. So follow that. Gives you a lot of insights. Books are like my
The
comes in
basics.
my values, comes in my they are my friends. So if you are going to ask books, I'm going to tell a lot of names here. Yeah. So yeah. So
What I will do, whatever the books you have mentioned, I will give their Amazon links, what they are in the, you can have a look and
For
if,
LinkedIn, I'm LinkedIn and also branding and how to crack the interview even after career gap is what color is your parachute is what I read. And on LinkedIn also I've read a book. I don't remember the author's name, but that was on LinkedIn. So yeah, so there are a lot of books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Then there is Alex Hermosi's Kitab on lead generation. So I've read that. So I love reading books. I keep having one near me and I keep on reading that.
wow, so amazing actually. So thank you so very much actually, Neha, for taking out a lot of your times and
Thank you. Thank you.
and giving real wisdom for the all the audience actually really looking for, because this is the subject generally not talked about, or even it is there the common problem, but कर लेंगे, हो जाएंगे, देख लेंगे, नहीं है तो भी क्या प्रॉब्लम है, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, because people comes into the comfort zone
Yeah.
and they compromise living compromised life, and so this is very important subject that we really dwell into it, and thank you so much actually.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making me here. Thank you.
Thank you.